The NBA Finals, where the Celtics are favored by 6.5 over the Mavericks. 11-year NBA vet, future NBA coach, Austin Rivers.
Yeah. What's up, guys?
Hey, just putting out in the universe, you know, future NBA coach.
I love it.
Yeah, just putting it out. Hey, Stephen A. said this morning that he's heard from numerous black coaches who are pissed off about LeBron James and JJ Redick doing a podcast, and then that inevitably potentially becoming like a head coaching interview throughout the entire year. We're going to hear a lot of that type of stuff, I think, about JJ potentially getting this job. If he wins, it doesn't matter. If he loses, it all comes back to light. Is that an accurate? Because that's how it would be in the NFL if it was kind of playing. Is that how it's going to be in the NBA as well, Austin?
Well, it's definitely an easy target just due to the fact that, for one, it's a Lakers job. That's like the hottest seat in basketball. You know, the expectations there are so high already. You got James Worthy critiquing your game. You got Magic Johnson tweeting about you. You got Snoop Dogg tweeting about you. You got every celebrity in the world there at the games. Obviously, when you coach a player like LeBron James and Anthony Davis, that is going to be at the top of pressure. And then you add the fact that he has a pod with him and now could possibly be the coach. You know, there obviously is a conflict of interest there. So that's now getting in the way of, well, is JJ a good coach or not? Or could he be a good coach or not? I think he's made to be a coach. Just from my talks with JJ, I played with JJ for numerous years. He's a basketball brainiac. I don't know if the timing of him with this organization fits best. I would like JJ to go to like a young team and be able to like have input on players and draft picks and trades and have like control. You know how some of these young, talented coaches go to these programs and they kind of like build with them. The Lakers are more like flash in a pan. Like, we need someone. Can you win right now? It's a lot of pressure. Yeah, this could end very well for JJ, or it could be, you know, I don't know, a quick stop just due to the fact that the Lakers' history. Frank Vogel won a finals championship in the bubble, and a couple years later they fired him.
Yeah, and he's been fired from two jobs since. I mean, the NBA coaching world is crazy. That's why your old man being around for as long as he's been around. He's also in the show now too. Clips.
Yeah, crushing it.
He's also in.
Looks good in it.
Anyways, it looks great.
Yeah, yoked.
He looks jacked.
Made him jacked in it. Yeah.
So much energy too, just oozing from his core.
I don't know what that means.
I mean, he talks a lot of shit.
Those rants in that show were unbelievable. When they were talking about, when he's talking about, what was it, Matt Barnes' wife, or I don't know who he was talking about. I was like, I don't remember that one.
Then Chris Paul, he was on the show whenever we were down in Carolina, and he was like, my wife and I watched one episode of that, and we're like, what the? Yeah. You know, what is? And then now there's a clip of Chris Paul coming out. It's like,
crying.
Nobody's really getting portrayed well. And I think everybody's pretty pissed off that they're even a part of this entire thing. But
it's tough when you make those movies and you don't have like the actual input from
There's your dad. There's your dad. That's your dad. You got to say to your dad, please show some respect to your father.
Growing up must have been tough.
That is Morpheus. As your dad, have you talked to your dad about how big of a compliment it is for Morpheus to play him, though?
He was very excited when the news came out that Lawrence was going to play him. He was like, I mean, this is a win-win, right? I was like, so far.
Yeah, for now.
The eternal pessimist that is Austin Rivers. Okay, so the thing is, if you win, nobody cares.
Correct. Yep.
And that's kind of Joe Mazzulla's entire take. He was the coach of the month for the NBA, and somebody on the team congratulated him. And he said, nobody cares. And then you just keep moving forward.
Love that.
Joe Mazzulla seems to have the right mindset. You and others that have talked to JJ Redick and know basketball say he has a good mind for it. We're pulling good luck out there, even though it hasn't happened yet. Good luck out there. Yep. He's calling the NBA Finals. Obviously, the next game, Game 5, is this evening. Celtics favored by 6.5 at home. They get their asses beat in Game 4 by 38, obviously at a historic rate. It's the biggest blowout in the history of the Celtics Finals. It's top 4 blowout in the history of the NBA Finals as a whole. It was a game in which they could have won a championship. Dallas had to win it. Another back-against-the-wall game for Dallas in Boston. How do you see it going, and how should we feel about maybe the Celtics recovering or losing all momentum here?
Yeah, this is a big game just due to the fact that right now, Boston's in complete control of this series still. They're up 3-1. No one's ever come back from 3-0. We all know that. The game is in Boston. They're ready to party tonight. We know that. We know that city's ready to turn up. But if Dallas is able to come in there and win, it gets a little weird. Now it starts to get, because now the pressure turns to where...
Wait a minute.
Us as the media are going to start running with this thing.
Wait a minute.
What do you mean after?
Yeah,
After one day.
I mean, now we're back in Dallas. Because if we go Game 7, we don't want Game 7 Luka. You don't want to go against Game 7 Luka.
No, you don't.
You keep him out of that.
Yeah.
Keep him out of that game.
Oh,
so
no.
the key is to win before we get to 7, because you don't want that man right there, the baddest man on the planet, with the ball in his hands. I mean, that you don't want him Game 7. I think they win tonight, honestly. I think Boston wins by like 10 or 11 plus. Especially coming off of that type of loss in Dallas, which was obviously pretty embarrassing for a team like that. You give Dallas credit, gentlemen's sweep. They went out there and they fought and they played hard.
Hell yeah.
For them to win tonight, though, man, I mean, they're going to need they're going to have unbelievable efforts from Luka and Kyrie, as well as the rest of those guys. Some of these guys who have been quiet, Derrick Jones, PJ Washington, some of these dudes who have had kind of quiet finals, they need a lot out of them tonight to win on the road in Boston. They haven't won yet, obviously, in this series on the road. They're going to need that tonight.
How about the Mavs just coming alive, though, in Game 4 in front of their fans, too? Like, their fans probably going to be pretty bummed out going into the offseason. And then potentially last game they see is like the best performance they've had literally all year. Good for them. Now, would be great for all of us if this series continues to go a little bit. Obviously, Connor's a little bit nervous, Austin.
Yeah, a little bit nervous, Austin. I like how you say you don't want, Game 7 Luka. Do you know who has the most points in Game 7 in the playoffs in the history of the NBA?
Let me in.
Jayson Tatum, actually. But funny enough,
okay.
Just say
he's playing still. People forget he is playing.
He is still on the Celtics.
Tatum.
Gonna get a lot of that tonight, right there.
Jay Tatum.
One of these two, maybe.
PK Subban joining us.
A couple of these
next hour.
Slams. But looking at Game 4, Austin, is it almost better that they just got killed by 38 points and were able to rest some guys versus like a devastating last-second loss? What are your thoughts on that? And do you think that it does almost bode well that, hey, we can just bury that one? That has actually never happened. I believe they were looking at stats. It was the worst offensive game and worst defensive game that they've ever had, at least in the Joe Mazzulla era. Is that kind of a different type of mindset when it is that bad of a loss, and do you think it does bode well for them?
I think, I mean, listen, sports is like, it's like 50, 60% mental, man. Sometimes it's all about perspective and how we label things in our brains. That's
80,
a game where, like,
so maybe 90.
Yeah, no, for real. You guys know it's all about how you view things and how you put things in your head. And I think a game like last game, where they obviously didn't have it on both sides of the ball, they lose by a million points. It's very easy to go in the locker room and everybody be like, "Hey, man, listen, this was a nasty game for us. Let's flush this one down. We've been great all playoffs. They've been dominant all season. Listen, Dallas came out in a desperate game. They played great. We lost. Let's flush it. We'll go back to Boston. And we're going to take this one. This game tonight, we're going to get." Prime Boston. I mean, we're going to get their best effort. And that is why it has some Boston fans nervous, because if you lose tonight's game, it gets weird. You know what I mean?
No.
Now you got to go back to Dallas, and like the momentum can shift. I don't see it happening, because even if Dallas did win tonight, they'd have to win 2 more. And Boston's just so good, but you just never know. I mean, this Boston team, we have not seen them take that jump yet. We haven't seen them kill. They have the guy right down. And we need a kill shot. I need a kill shot from Boston.
They need Tank Davis.
Yeah, that was the conversation before the fight.
Oh my God, what a fight, by the way.
Yeah, he said. I guess he said before the fight. I heard Steven talking about it on First Take. He said you took this fight too early, because Frank was 18-0, I guess, coming into this fight. He said too early in your career to be taking this fight. You're not ready yet. And in the 8th round, boom, bang. Bongos on
look at him just
face.
lining him up. Look at him just lining up. He was on the ropes the whole fight.
And that's it right there. That one. And then, to be clear, the backflip off the top rope. Now, the 4 ropes in boxing is certainly something to keep guys in so they can't fall out. Tough to climb. Tank obviously says, wait a second. He's going to the top rope. 8th round knockout. Perfect backflip from Big Tank. But you're talking about, and he's 30 and I forget 32-0 or maybe 33-0. I forget what it is. He has a killer instinct. He has a killer instinct. You're saying Boston doesn't, but
geez.
I mean, that one
just right on the button.
That one, like you want.
No, I think Boston has it. I think Boston has it, and I think what put Boston over the edge versus other years is the addition of Drew Holiday. When they grabbed Drew, I think it added another element to this team, just in terms of depth and overall just having guys who can play on both sides of the ball. I do think Boston closes it out tonight. I really do. All I'm saying is if they do not win tonight, it gets a little weird.
Okay.
I know as a basketball fan, and for all of us, we kind of want We want some fireworks.
Of course.
As somebody that does a daily sports show, yes, would love this thing to go as long as possible. But let's say they do find the killer instinct and they win this thing. D-Butch got a question for you.
Yeah, also, you've been in those locker rooms. You know how these egos work. I saw a report or tweet or post something about Steph Curry almost been in tears when he didn't win Finals MVP one year. Big game tonight. Let's say they do close it out. Obviously, Jaylen Brown got the Eastern Conference Final player. Is that going to be a thing between Tatum and Brown like tonight? Like, hey, I want to be the guy that closes it out. Or do you think, hey, they just get out of each other's way and take the best shot available, whatever it is throughout this game? Or do you think that kind of gets in the way at all?
No, I think they're trying to win. I think they both know they got to win. This is a series that they'll be critiqued much harder if they don't win this playoffs or win the finals rather than, who wins Finals MVP. The problem is, us as a media, we do obviously highlight the individual stuff just as much as the team award. And we always look back at that award with Steph, which was so strange. We held that as like as a thing against him for the longest time until he was able to win. What was it, 2021 or 20? Whenever they beat Boston, and he finally got one. Everyone's like, "Hey, he got one." We're like, I mean, he probably should have won the one with Andre Iguodala, but they obviously gave it to Iggy. Listen, Jaylen Brown has played the best in the conference finals and in the finals.
Oh, just say it. He won the MVP. Play. In your eyes, he's the MVP. You can say it,
yeah. And I think Tatum's the best player in the Celtics, but you can't give awards off who you think is the best player, who has historically been the best player as of recently. Jaylen Brown has been a guy who's played kind of more consistent on both sides of the ball and been a little bit more efficient. I mean, look at this. My God.
Filthy.
But if Tatum goes for like 30 or 40 tonight, they want to give it to him, right? I mean, it's good for the league. It's good for the Celtics. They want Tatum to have that trophy, especially after giving, I think, Brown the Eastern Conference. I think that was like a prequel to that. They gave him that because Boston's like, yo, listen, Tatum, you go handle business in the finals. The big dog's yours. All right, but you got to go do that. He's got to go out there and play well, man. He can't have one of these games where he shoots like 6 for 19 or 6 for 22 and Jaylen Brown has like 30. They're going to be in a position where they're like, yo, we have to give it to Brown. So
I think Connor said earlier he only took 10 shots, I guess, last game or whatever. Going to have to be a little bit different this evening. And we assume Tatum, Brown, and the boys are going to go ham tonight. Yeah. That's just saying. That little leprechaun's going to be doing a little jig on the wooden floor up there in TD Garden.
Can you imagine that city tonight? Can you imagine that city tonight? They get another banner in there, especially in modern day era. They're going to be going. My God.
Boston's
going to be electric tonight if they win. Yeah, it's going to be crazy.
God, massholes losing their mind in celebration. We haven't seen that in a long time.
No, been waiting.
It's been a long time since Boston massholes have been able to really celebrate something.
February 2019.
What do y'all call them?
Massholes? That's not what I call them. That's what they are. That's actually, there's like Yinzers.
Like proud of.
From Pittsburgh, Hoosiers from Indiana. Massholes are from Massachusetts.
Massholes just seems a little bit more. There's just
no. It's my delivery. That's always my issue. is how I deliver something. Is always the. Okay. It's a compliment.
It's supposed to sound like that.
Okay,
that's how you're supposed to deliver it.
Yeah, like last week I was out with 4 massholes, and I will tell you, the night was certainly something. A lot of question marks. Of course, a lot of things said. But we woke up the next morning. We said, "Wow, what a night with the boys from Massachusetts."
It's fun.
Yeah, it was a good time. They know it. We're not making this up.
Okay.
I'm observing and reporting. I'm a journalist. Maybe you should think about doing the same exact thing. Maybe you should think about it. Maybe you should think about it. Okay? I saw some sweet tats. I didn't know you were all tatted up the way you are with the photo. Happy Father's Day. Hope you had a great one.
Happy Father's Day.
Thank you. I got a daughter due Friday.
Oh, wow. Oh, shit. Okay, congratulations. Yeah. Here we go. Hope for, obviously, a safe delivery and everything like that. How's house right now? I mean,
She's good. We're on. Yeah, it's DEFCON 9 right now. At any day now, she could look at me and be like, "It's time to go." It's my first daughter. I'm nervous. I got 2 boys, but so it's been smooth sailing so far. But they say when the daughter comes, perspective changes.
Well, they also say whenever 3 come, right? Because now you're outnumbered. Right, is what they say. So, daughter, I have a 13-month-old daughter.
Nice. Yeah, Happy Father's Day, by the way.
Hey, thank you. It was a cool day. It was a really cool day. Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day, boys. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Out there.
Appreciate that.
That masshole right there, not a father.
Thank God.
That's what I'm saying. That's what we've been saying this whole time. All right,
what we know.
True.
That mullet in the streets is a dangerous man. I can already see him right now.
You are not lying, brother. You are not lying.
Outside.
You should see whenever the music starts hitting his soul, too. I mean, he does a lot of this.
That's why I'm already, if I go to Bees or anything this summer, I'm calling you, man.
Okay.
I need you to come with.
I'll be there. I will be there.
If you go to Ibiza with a 1 month or 2 month old daughter, I mean, you're certainly a ledge in some people's eyes. But other people will be saying, is this guy from Massachusetts?
Yeah.
That's what some people will be asking this entire thing. Hey, we appreciate the hell out of you, man. We got a hard out coming.
No, always.
And we're thankful that you answer the call seemingly every time we make it. So we appreciate you.
Every time, man. You guys call, I'll be here. I appreciate you guys as always.
Hopefully we'll talk to you again before the baby girl arrives. But if not, congrats, good luck, and all that stuff.
I'm here, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, Austin Rivers.
Yeah, Austin.